Yamaha owners rejoice. Let's get into magic beans. And since there's a new way of taking measurements, it's still the moving mic method, but it's a little bit different, something that gives a better spatial average. It's more consistent. So we're going to get into that. And we're also going to get into how to transfer all the data to the Yamaha. Now I'm using the Yamaha A8A, which is their flagship AV receiver. And before you get started, before you even buy magic beans, I think the thing you need to do as a Yamaha owner is make sure that you can access the AVR via the web app. That's the first thing we need to check. So let's do that. First, let's look into the AVR and I'll show you what the issue is. What we're going to do is go into speaker and we're going to go down to parametric EQ, okay? Now, as you can see, mine is set to manual because that's essentially what we're going to end up doing. We're going to manually put in these curves. Now check out these curves. These are the curves that Magic Beans put in because I've already done this. Here is the issue. Front left, if you look at front left, bands 5, 6, and 7 cannot go below 500 if you're doing it on the AVR, right? The frequency. So in this first one for front left, you can see band 5 is at 315. You can't get to 315 on the AV receiver. Let's see here. Yeah, front presence right band 5 needs to be 198. Not 500. Here we are again, band 5. Rear height right needs to be 396. So those bands cannot get underneath 500 hertz via the AVR itself. So we need to make sure that you can access the app. To get to the web app, you're gonna need to know the IP address of the AVR. So let's, in the setup menu, go down to network, go down to IP address, and you can see mine says 192.168.1.178. Now that third number is probably the one that's going to be different for you. So you're going to go to http://192.168. Whatever your number is here. For me, it's 1.178/setup, all lowercase on the setup. Now I had to use Safari instead of Chrome. Once you're here in the web app, click on speaker and then scroll down to PEQ manual section. Click on the frequency of any of the speakers in that section and you'll notice that the frequencies range from 15.6 hertz all the way up to 16 kilohertz. So you got to make sure that you have that ability to access the AVR through the web app. Otherwise, you won't be able to import the target curve as detailed as you would have. All right, so you've verified that you can access the AVR through the web app, making your life much easier to import the target curve from TrueTarget into your Yamaha. So the second thing we need to do is go in and turn off all this stupid stuff that's on by default. So we are in the setup menu here. We need to go down to sound. And the first thing we need to do is go down to dynamic range. Now this needs to be set to maximum, okay? Maximum. Produces audio without adjusting the dynamic range. Perfect. Okay, next one. Adaptive DSP level. Go into that guy and turn that off, okay? We do not need that. I'm going in and just turning everything off. Virtual speaker, turn that off. VSBS, it's a whole bunch of BS we need to turn off. Turn this shit off too. Dolby virtualized speaker virtualization, turn that crap off too. Okay, everything else here I think is okay. Another thing that's interesting that we probably want to turn off is press the 4 lines button or the option menu. And we want to go down to YPAL volume and we want to put YPAL volume to off. And I think if you really want to, turn this enhancer off as well. This is more for music, but turn this shit off as well. And I think that's it as far as what we need to turn off. My pattern 1 was a manual calibration that I used with the Spatial Audio Calibration Toolkit. By the way, you need to go to spatialcd.com to pick yours up. You will need this to run Magic Beans, just so you know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go to setting pattern 1, right? And go down to configuration and we're going to set all of these to large because at the end of the day, Magic Beans needs to know the capabilities of your speakers. So we need to make sure we are getting a full range signal. No surround back, front present, large. Okay, so we need to make sure we have all of these speakers set to large and subwoofer set to just 1 and to use. Okay, perfect. But that's it. We're all set up now to run Magic Beans. I have the newest version on my laptop and I'll be doing a screen capture of that guy. And once this reads the disc, we are going to be in business. Now for the Spatial Audio Calibration Toolkit, we are going to be in the bottom section here. It's periodic pink noise. This is the full range pink noise that we're going to be using. And you just pick the speakers in your configuration. We got pink noise going already. Pick a level that's comfortable, that Magic Beans can read without it being too low. Like, give it a good healthy signal, but don't like blow your ears out, you know what I mean? Oh, and for those that didn't know, on the Spatial Audio Calibration Toolkit, when you want to get back to the menu, hit top menu or disc menu. If you hit stop, it stops the Blu-ray. There we go. Okay, so here's Magic Beans. We'll do mic check real quick. As you can see, I've got a UMic 1. It's already selected here. Tap on it, boom, you can see it's moving. And the calibration file has already been added. Okay, so we're gonna go into True Target. We're gonna log in and we're gonna go through you should read all this stuff. I got it down. There is a how to measure tutorial in Magic Beans already. So definitely check that out if you don't know what we're doing. I've selected my layout already. I already ran Magic Beans last night. And we're gonna go to next. And I'm gonna show you how to do a couple of these things and then kind of just speed up everything because it's gonna be kind of the same situation. Okay, so I have wait 5 seconds before starting a measure on. Now with this new way of measuring, we are going to, and that's why I like this selfie stick, because I can kind of just, boom, turn the mic so it's kind of like horizontally, kind of just going like this. What we're going to do is we're going to hold the microphone right about here, about a foot away, 18 inches-ish. We're going to hit measure and we're going to slowly back it off to about 3 feet, right? So you want to make sure you have enough room for all this kind of stuff. Okay, we're going to hit, it's going to measure in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Let's stop that. Let's go back because we need to play a sound, don't we? Derp. Okay. All right. There we go. You know, we could probably give it a little bit more volume. Let's go -5. I'll just redo the measurement just so you guys can see what that looks like. Okay, now we're gonna take let me pause that. Now we're gonna take the main listening measurement right now. In the previous version, you did all the near field and then you do the MLP, but now we're doing the MLP. Now for the main listening position, I'm gonna change this guy again to here. I'm gonna aim the tip of the microphone toward the speaker that we are measuring. So it's gonna have a little bit of an angle and I'm gonna kind of do this motion here of where my head is going to be sitting here in bed as I watch movies and stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit, we're still on front left. So we're gonna hit this measure. We're gonna hit play. Okay. I'm gonna hit disk menu or top menu to get back to the menu for the spatial toolkit. And as we can see here, it says stop measuring. Okay, now we just go next, and now we're at the center. Now I'm not gonna do all of these in real time because that's just gonna take too much time. So just so you know, again, the new way to get a better, more consistent spatial average is 18 inches, you hit measure, you run the tone on the toolkit, and you just slowly back it off. And you don't want to back it off more than 3 feet, okay? So again, once you do that one, you're right away going to switch over and do the main listening position measurement for that particular speaker. So remember to point the microphone capsule at the speaker that you're measuring. Another thing to, get yourself a really long cable and get yourself a good sturdy selfie stick so that, when you're getting to the height channels, I'm going to be doing this, you know what I mean? And just backing it off, slowly sliding it back, or maybe taking a step back or leaning back or whatever you want to do. That's the new technique for the near field measurement. And then again, we want to quickly move back to the main listening position measurement where we're going to aim the capsule, and we need to make sure we have enough of a cable and enough of a, selfie stick for you to make this work for all of your speakers. I have 9 here, so let me do all of this. Yeah, let's save some time because there's going to be more that we need to do for the Yamaha. Let's go. So right now it's, generating the filters. Here's the target curve. All right, so what we want to do is, in the export method, the best option, I think, is the unified sound field. Go to the TrueTarget website so you can get an idea of what all of these export methods mean. There's per channel, unified sound field, and global. Get a better explanation about unified sound field. That's the one we're going to do. Click generic so that we can get down to YPOW. Now YPOW has 2 different options. Now I have PEQ and there's also GEQ. I don't have that, so I don't know what you want to do, but YPOW has 2, so it's either one or the other. I'm going to pick PEQ, and I'm going to go to export, and I'm going to set this up as bedroom, THX satellites, okay? Now is where we need to jump onto the computer and just plug all these numbers in, okay? It's going to take a little bit of time, so let's get into that. Okay, so now we've entered the target curves. Now we need to get the distance, which is our time alignment, and we need to get the levels. You could run SACT and go through the manual process. The quicker way is just to run YPOW on a different pattern, okay? We're gonna run YPOW on a different pattern, and then we're just going to take the distance and levels, just take a picture of it on my phone, and then transform over to pattern 1. So at the end of the day, we have the levels and the distances from YPOW, and we have the EQ curves from Magic Beans, okay? I'm not gonna do this like totally accurately, but just because I've already done it. But I'm just gonna walk you through. We're not gonna do a multi-measure. We're just gonna hit start, and then it's gonna do its thing. So we just sit here and wait. Okay, so now we can go in and check the YPOW results. It'll tell you the size it thinks everything is, the distance, the levels, and we didn't do the height and measurement. We don't need to do that, but you do need to hit save, okay? You do need to hit save. So I've already done this, so I'm not gonna hit save, but you need to hit save, okay? Go to configuration and make sure you set all these back to small, okay? Turn everything back to small and, pick your crossover. You can use the SACT crossover section to do that. I'm keeping all these at 80 because that's essentially, these are small speakers, so 80 is fine. I could put the center at 60, but no need to do that. I got a 12-inch subwoofer, it'll be fine. So you need to make sure you do that. Now, in the distance, this is pretty much a copy of what the distances were from YPOW, okay? Levels, same thing. I copy this from the levels that we got from YPOW. Just make it quick, easier. So when you get into parametric EQ after YPOW has been done, you'll see YPOW flat, okay? And this is what YPOW has done EQ-wise, but we won't want to do that. We want to go to the manual that we have entered in already. And once we go up, we're gonna select manual, and here are the manual EQ curves that we got from Magic Beans that we entered in on the app. The levels we got from YPOW, and we just copied them in and adjusted it. You just go in here and you just adjust them, right? That's what you do. I just took a picture of the YPOW output on my phone and then put them in here. That's for the levels. Same thing with the distances, which is your timing, right? The time alignment. And again, make sure everything is set back to small. All your speakers are set back to small in configuration. And that's it. That's all you need to do, right? And of course, make sure to keep off all that stupid compression stuff that we talked about before. So, how does it sound? Okay, so post calibration, you're probably wondering, what are the results? I don't have all of my equipment here as far as demos is concerned because they're all in this new studio, so the Revolution and the Roku Ultra are there. But I do have Voodoo on my PlayStation 5, which is here, and that's going in via Dolby Atmos. And I watched 300, I watched Midway. I also went into, it's not Atmos, but Lord of the Rings to hear that bass drop, the sine wave bass drop right at the beginning of Fellowship, or like 3 minutes in. And then I went into Netflix's Follow the House of Usher, and there were certain parts, where the dynamics are crazy. All of a sudden, they're just talking, and then it's quiet, and bam! That storm, whew, great. Really weird ass show, but fantastic Atmos. That storm was a character all in its own due to the Atmos. So I watched those shows and movies, and then I went into Call of Duty, and wow. I can't tell you how amazing this Yamaha sounds. And coincidentally, it sounds just like the Denon. Why is that? Oh, because we're getting the same target curve and nothing's really changed except for the AVRs. So we should be getting a more similar experience even though we're swapping out the AVR, right? So I have the Sony, I have the Arcam to try this out on, and I have a feeling I'm going to get the same results because we are effectively getting the same target curve for this room with these speakers. We're just swapping out the receiver. Now, what I said before in the first time Joe was over here was that this is the disruptor and it's going to level the playing field. What does that mean? That means now you are not encumbered by which room correction comes with your receiver. Like if you were just like, oh, I love the look of the Yamaha. I love how the menus are like from the 90s and I love it. So yeah, rock the Yamaha with Magic Beans. You don't have to worry about YPOW being garbage because you're not using it, right? Odyssey always, neuters the subwoofer. And then you can't hear anything out of the center channel, right? The intelligibility for speech is just really bad on those. But I love the way the Denon looks. Upgraded GUI. Hey, we're in 2020 now, right? So we can get that experience with the Denon and we can get the same experience with the Yamaha. The aesthetics are different depending on which one you like. You like the look of the R-Cam? Cool, run the R-Cam. And with Magic Beans, you're gonna get the same experience that I'm getting with the Denon or the Yamaha. So now you are unencumbered by the built-in room correction in your receiver. And that's why this shit is awesome. Everybody needs this because it will, at the end of the day, give you a better home theater experience. Let me know in the comments what you guys think and which AVR I should do next. Should I do the R-Cam next or the Sony? And don't forget to pick up True Target by Magic Beans Audio. Links are down in the description. And yes, you will need the spatial audio calibration toolkit to run it, so you're gonna have to pick that up as well. At the end of the day, it's a small price to pay to get everything that you already paid for and more. See you in the next one. Peace.